Hey, what's going on, guys? Doja's here, and here's the first pistol weapons challenge video. This is gonna be a series I'm doing on my channel every weekend. It's just a kind of a video series where I only use pistols in certain games, and this is going to be for Rainbow Six Siege. And I'm starting with the 5.7 USG. So hope you enjoy, and I hope you like the clips. Hitting you a hard stat to this weapon, it does 27 damage and 22 damage suppressed. So it doesn't sound like you want to suppress this weapon, and you can tell this is classified in the weapon range where it's a high capacity and low damage weapon. Compared to the Muzak does 50 something damage, so maybe if you're preferring like a high damage, you go with the Muzak, but that would be at close range. And this weapon is better for longer range, and I'll get to that. And I'd only recommend a muzzle brake with this weapon because you can tell 22 damage with suppressor is not that great. Now we have the operators we can use with this weapon, which would be all of the FBI SWAT. So that's Ash, Thermite, Castle, and Pulse. So those are all great options to use with, and only options, I mean. So I would recommend this weapon to use, but it depends on what operator you're using. Say you have Thermite, which you open up holes and look into them from longer ranges, you want to use a longer range pistol. So that's how it's gonna work. And if you get someone down, you can easily get your pistol out and spray down a bunch of bullets. So I want to say this weapon is good for long range because of how balancing works in Rainbow Six Siege. If you have a low damage weapon, then it'll usually have a better drop off range so that it'll do its amount of damage through longer ranges. So that's why it'd be recommended for Thermite. Let's say you have someone like Ash, who's a close range monster with her high fire rate R4C. Say, you're rushing the objective, you get a few people down, but you're in close range to another person, but you run out of bullets. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna switch to your secondary weapon, but it does so low damage at close range, so then you die. But say if you had that higher damage Muzak, which is 50, then you probably would have taken that person out. So that's why you'd use the Muzak for a closer range for someone like Ash. Now, to discuss the actual gameplay of this weapon, it's really hard to use this as just a normal weapon because even if I use the muzzle brake, it's a really weak weapon, and this is kind of the weapon that you want to be accurate with, like the accuracy weapon. You want to be able to land the headshots because it doesn't do enough body damage and limb damage in order just to be missing all that stuff. So I in order to get any of my kills, like in any of these games in the clips I show you, usually they have to be like accurate neck shots, a few body shots, but eventually land on a headshot. And this is the kind of weapon that can be good for accuracy, but also has a lot of bullets, so you can land a lot of shots on your enemy. And it's room for a lot of tries, so it leaves a little bit more versatility there. And with a big mag, and it's really hard to use as just a backup weapon compared to the Muzak when you can just land chest shots, and usually if you're in close range you'll get the kill. So that's why I did not put the suppressor on. I tried the suppressor a few times, but I got no good clips with the suppressor because man, it's just hard. Like, it's just terrible. You can't use it as a backup weapon with the suppressor, which is why I do not use the suppressor on this weapon. Even sometimes I try to, but I need like a backup weapon. Like this, what the secondary is for, a backup weapon. But people like to put on suppressor so that they can take out cameras. But I remember watching a Narcoleptic Nugget video where he's playing Terrorist Hunt. He's got the terrorist, and he has a suppressor on 5.7 USG. And you know what? He lands like 20 bullets, like chest, and a faraway terrorist on yacht. And yeah, that's kind of why it scared me to use suppressor on those weak weapons anymore. My final thoughts and opinion on this weapon is I rate this weapon a 5 out of 10 weapon. This is a pretty solid weapon, but not the greatest weapon, where you have a lot of range because of its drop off and the capacity, but this is kind of a weapon that you have to be accurate with. Now, if you're not accurate with it, then if you're trying to use it as a secondary, then you'll probably die. Even if you lower someone on health and you're trying to kill them, then it's not always the greatest idea if you're not at least going to be accurate enough. Because it does do low damage, but it has a higher range, so the low damage might still be enough. So I'll give the weapon that. And it's a bit versatile because of its mag capacity, so you can spray a lot of bullets even in close range, which is great and versatile. So this is my rating of this weapon. I hope you enjoyed this video. And yeah, that's all I had to say. Next is the M45 Muzak, I think. So yeah, thank you all for watching. See you later.